Virtua Racing? Nah, more like Virtua Racing, the game that pioneered the 3D market. Although Atari did it with iRobot in 1984, the 1992 arcade game absolutely demolished it in 3D graphics. I mean, that's like 8-year difference, but anyways, the Genesis got a port of it. However, this cartridge is pretty big. Yikes. Anyways, yeah, it's not that good of a port, to be honest. It's just like, it's had so much potential. I will have to say, it's not that bad of a game, but it also has the slipperiest controls of a racing game. I heard Checkered Flag for the Atari Jaguar is the worst racing game out there, but also, I haven't played it, so I can't really say that, but I heard it is so bad. Anyways, Virtua Racing isn't that bad of a racer, as I've said, but the controls are way too slippery. I've recently bought a 6-button controller, so I can actually play this as it was intended to. Yeah, it works with a 3-button, but it says you should probably play with 6-button, but it's not forced. Yeah, I've had this game for a while now, and to be honest, every time I come back to it, I, want to come back to it, but also I get off at, 2 seconds because, the controls are just not that good. So, yeah, that stinks. But, yeah, the game is basically just you racing. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, the gameplay. And the 3D polygons are kind of funny. Like, look at these people. They don't even look like people. They just look like blocks. I mean, yeah, this is the Sega Genesis we're talking about here, but golly. This looks like iRobot. Anyways, yeah, this game could have been better on the Genesis. I mean, they could have just waited and ported it on the Saturn, Okay, that joke's old now, isn't it? Anyways, so, yeah, that's basically Virtua Racing for you. To be honest, I just wanted to make an episode about this, and it actually is a really cool little thing. I don't want this episode to be short, so, well, Virtua Racing Deluxe. Although I have a 32X and I have the game, which is the only game I have for the 32X, sadly, I decided to do one of the stupidest decisions I've ever made in my life. Yes, let me sell my Model 2, although I also had a Model 1, and I liked the Model 1 better, so I decided, yeah, I don't need this Model 2 anymore. I got $3 entire bucks for it. Yes, I know, such a great price. And guess what? Now the cord that needs to connect the Genesis to the 32X can't work because it only worked on a Model 2 and Model 3. And I have a Model 1. And also, I feel like I can't find some of the cables. I really wish they didn't have cables on the 32X. Maybe a power cable, but seriously, do we need to do all these AV cables? There's 2 AV cables on the system. One in and one out. Out goes to the TB, however, in is basically just the Genesis, the 32X cable I talked about. So, I have to play it on an emulator. Why, Sega? Why? Well, is it better? Not really. I mean, all they really did was update the graphics. Everything else looks blocky and just trash. Look, I know this looks like the 32X, to be honest, but, it could have been way better. This is basically what the Genesis did. I mean, yeah, it looks way smoother and everything, but they could have added way more things. And I do feel like the main menu is kind of cool. And I think Sonic Jam actually used that same menu. But, yeah, they could have done a lot more with this game. And sadly, they didn't. I know this episode was short, but that's basically it. See y'all in all of the C and 64 games.